All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to MVP Office Hours. It is October 6th, and I'm really excited to see all of your smiling faces. I hope you've had a good week. We're going to end it with a smile, just like Joy's got right now. Just a reminder, we're always on the first and third Fridays. Well, I shouldn't say always. We're usually on the first and third Fridays, unless there's some scheduling issues like Dreamforce. You can reach Joy or Dale or myself at our LinkedIn handles. Some of us still use X. You can always use email, but I wouldn't. And always remember that the success community is your friend. If you've got questions, if you've got concerns, if you've got follow-ups, that's the best place to go. There's a lot of us out there. And if I had an active slide deck, it would move when I click the button. All right. We're going to have another call on the 20th, and a couple of ground rules. Like always, we want everyone to share what they know. So feel free to jump in, come off mute, talk to whatever topics at hand, bring up questions when you've got them. You can post them in the chat or raise your hand. And when we get to you, the next person in line will do that. Links are great. We try to keep all those in the slide decks. Share your screens, but don't share anything that's private. Remember, the internet's forever. And so we don't want anything out there that shouldn't be for the perpetuity of the internets. And one last reminder that we're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy each other's company. We want to stay positive. So let's keep it that way if we can help it. And like I said, it's forever. So the upcoming Dream events are pretty much worldwide right now. We've got a couple in Jaipur and Casablanca, but also in Tampa and Chicago, and Margarine is going to be virtual. And as we mentioned last week, the Salesforce World Tour stops have been announced, at least for the fourth quarter: Minnesota, Philly, Seattle, Atlanta, Chicago, New York. All of that stuff is available at trailhead.salesforce.com/community/conferences. I don't know why Salesforce made it so hard to find that link, but that's how you have to get there now. And as we lean into the best part of the call, which is us rambling at each other, there were no posts in success. There were no emails. Everybody is having such great success that they have no problems to discuss. So I was just going to sign off at this point, unless you know. Okay, cool. All right. The floor is open to anyone who has anything, and we'll just start there.
No
While
question.
we're waiting, has anyone taken the release yet in production?
This weekend here.
This weekend.
Okay, I'm next weekend.
Why do you ask, Diane?
I'm just curious. I think I need to reattend some sessions just to, because after last week when you guys let the wind out of my sails by saying careful what you heard at Dreamforce, because there might be, what I heard was they're blowing smoke. I'm like, wow, I think I need to listen to the, like release readiness again or something, just to.
What was the topic? Do you remember what we let you down with? Because I feel like we want to.
I don't think you didn't let me down. This group never lets me down, ever.
High five.
I was like thinking like all this stuff around AI was really cool, and like with Flow, I was just going to be able to say, hey, I need a flow that sends an email alert to Tom Jones every Thursday or whatever, and it was going to create that flow for me, because I have a problem with Flow. I'm having a hard time learning it. And someone said, oh, but just wait, don't, that's coming, but it's definitely not here yet. And I was pretty excited about that. So I was excited, I guess, about some of the AI capabilities that were talked about at Dreamforce. So now I have excited about something else. So I got to go back and listen to the release readiness again so that I can focus on something else, I guess.
I mean, Diane, there are lots of things to be excited about with this release. And I am willing to show you one thing that I have been super excited about this week, and have showed my boss and some of my teammates about. I
Yeah.
could even show my screen because this is all in a Trailhead box. Is that okay? Does anybody?
No, please,
Nobody
please
wants
tell
to.
us, Stuart. Tell us.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Okay.
I'd love to know a little bit more about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Dreamforce, I got this cool background, and I went to a session with Michelle Hansen. She's an awesome Flownatic. Also, there was Eric Smith, who he creates awesome components, and then Adam White. Is I'm getting these names right? I don't know. I'm horrible with names.
So far, so good.
Adam is a product manager on the automation team at Salesforce, and they showed what's coming up with reactive flows. And so, can I share my screen?
I can
You have-
let
no,
you
you
do
have-
that in
you have
just
disabled-
1 second here.
We have disabled you from screen sharing.
And now you can do it.
Okay.
Kitty.
The
Screen.
reactive flow screens, so amazing.
So I am screen sharing. Go away, screen sharing. So let's talk about how do I get this thing to go away? Rep-a-dep-a-doo.
I mean, we
Go.
can't see it. It's only bothering you.
It's bothering me because I can't see anything with that thing in there. Anywho, get rid of this darn thing.
Yeah, while you're figuring that out, Stu, can I just throw out there that the flow section, the release notes, was like a wish list. Like I just kept going, no, oh, that's so cool. Like this release was just spectacular.
I'm gonna change everything so that I can see my normal. Okay, so if you imagine this, where I've got a I wish that would go away. Where I've got a screen flow that does a product discount. So here's my normal screen flow, and we've got a lot of screen flows in our org that do something like this, where I'm going to get the product records. This is going to get price book entries, and then what it's going to do is it's going to show me those on a screen, and I'm going to select one, and then it's going to go to the next screen, and it's going to allow me to select a discount from 0 to 30% on a slider, and then I'll hit next, and then the next screen will show me through a formula what is my discounted price. And we've got a lot of these simple screen flows that select something, let you choose something, and then do some sort of calculation or formula. Now with reactive screens, you get your records, and then everything happens on one screen. So these now have become components. So Salesforce has changed the way that the screen works. So every single thing on here is its own component, and it can react to each other. So you'll see it in a second, but this slider, when I move it back and forth, will react to this. This actually has a formula in it that is going to react to this component, which is already on the screen. And I've got another set of components here that are just labels that I've set up in my org, specific labels that change based on the discount value, which is set on also on the slider. So let me first, I don't know, do I have to show you? I'll show you this. So we'll debug on the regular normal flow pre-winter 24. You'll choose your product. So I'll choose this $50,000 product. I'll hit next as I normally would. I'll select a discount of 10%, and then it gives me my price. That's great. On the reactive flow, let's debug that. everything's on one screen. All of those nexts are gone. I'll select the product here. These are the components, and then my slider, as I move it, I'm gonna get that 10%. Oh, that message changed because this is reacting to the slider, and also the discount price is also reactive. So you'll see it changes as I move that slider up, and now it changed to an error notification. Now why is this a big deal? This is a big deal because these components can be anything. Imagine this is a map up here, and what I'm selecting down here is a list of locations. As I select the location, the map can be updated because they are separate components on the same screen. Let's say that up here, it's a list of accounts, and I select the account. I can now have a component that reaches out and finds the contacts from that account and shows the contacts here below. And then I could select a contact, and it could go out and find more information about that contact. And all of these are reacting to each other. There's more stuff. As soon as we don't get winter until tonight. Well, my Trailhead org doesn't get winter till tonight. And so there'll be more cool things that I'll show you in the next MVP office hours. As far as like, I can create formulas that replace words. That is pretty cool. I can also do things where it automatically does formulas as soon as I open up the flow. So grab variables from different objects, put them all into the flow, and then create calculations as soon as you open up the flow. These are all things that you couldn't do before. You wish you did. You had to create Lightning Web Components and Apex controls and put those together. Now you don't necessarily need those. You could do those all. And what my team said, oh, that's great, but what did you do in code?
Right.
Well, the only code I did was I created a formula here. I mean, you could say this is code. I mean, it is, but it's all within the declarative tool. That's a formula. And then I created a variable just using the tool. And then within the editor itself, I had to create these label styles, and then create this this condition. And these all kind of have conditions that react to each component. So that's what
Stu, can I just jump in here with a little anecdote? So I was watching this from the sidelines, and the person next to me, like, I was smiling and like kind of applauding, and the person next to me goes, yeah, but it's really hard to wire those things together. And I said, I kind of like turned my head. I thought they were messing around. I was like, what do you mean? And they were still thought that there was a level of like code-based reactivity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's it. Like, and you could see like it was so hard to process that it just happens now.
Yeah. If this
it was fun.
Yeah, if this was an LWC component, yes, you're right. You'd have to wire them together to talk to the components. Right now, I just put them there and then refer to each component by its component name, and it runs, and it's so sweet.
The other one I like is that change so that when you back up, it remembers what was like, it persists through the flow no matter what you do your screens. The formulas remember what you picked earlier, so you don't have to reload or re-get records. It's it only resonates with me because we have a lot of flows that we have to back up through because of certain steps, and as we refactor that, I like that one too. It's a little less dramatic, I think, to demo like what you just did, but I like that one too.
So what do I love? What do I love about this Dreamforce? I love about this Dreamforce is that I learned something that I can use within 1 month of going to Dreamforce. I learned something that I can use directly in my org that is a game changer for a lot of the stuff that I had to build before that took maybe weeks and weeks to build. I can build within one sprint. Wow. I can't remember a Dreamforce that happened before. Honestly, to be honest, I just don't know.
Stuart, I love your enthusiasm that you just dropped this like massive demo on us, like on the fly. I love it. I love it. It's like my face hurts. I'm smiling so much about it. Like,
And the demo worked.
yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Stuart. That was awesome.
Why do we have to do the discount on a slider? Why can't you just put in a number?
Yeah, Stuart.
That's what makes
Because
me
Stuart,
only think
Stuart
that-
wanted to
This is
play with the
requested a
slider.
The
He wanted to
slider.
play with the slider. To
Sliders
test
are
it out.
sliders are cool. I don't know. I could have chose. I guess I could have chosen anything.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't for your demo. Like all of the demos, when they deal with a discount, they're always like, and then we have the slider. And it's like, or I could just type in 15. But I guess the slider demo does show when you've gone over that you have that like error message. And if you're typing in a number, it's not as visually like, ooh, okay, I went too far, let me go back kind of thing. But it's just like I kept thinking that when I like saw the demos, it's like, and here's the slider.
Yeah. It reminds me of watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my son, the most recent movie, and when they meet up with Shredder, and Shredder is saying, "Oh, did you also get hit by the slime?" And they all look at each other, slime. We always called it ooze. It sounds better. It sounds better coming out ooze. And so that's another thing about the slider too. The slider just sounds better. It's like ooze.
True. It definitely looks prettier, but I was just curious.
You could type in a number too. That's fine.
No, you can't. There's a slider.
That, yeah, the other thing at the end of that session, I went up to Adam's group. His whole team was there. It was great. And I said something that I wasn't supposed to say. Maybe I shouldn't even say it during the MVP office hours.
Yeah, we are recording.
But I said, so you demonstrated how you could do all this reactive stuff, and you showed you could do all of this stuff like in one screen. And you even showed how you could do an HTTP call out to an integration, and you showed how you could easily do data fetcher to grab data from accounts and contacts. So my team is doing all this stuff using Omnis Studio and data raptors and integration procedures. Are you trying to replace Omnis Studio in this? And absolutely not trying to replace. They're two separate ways, and you could do this using LWCs and Apex. You could do this using a number of different ways, 12 different ways to do anything inside of Salesforce. But we're just giving options to the developers and admins and architects that we have these tools, and we want to open them up to the Salesforce community. But for me, it's really interesting that automation has become just so open, and it's really, really fascinating.
I feel like Flow as a tool is not too far away from the only answer needed for half of what we do. Because I think one of the biggest reasons to learn to code right now, it's so that you can create your own custom components, so that you can have these simple one-screen experiences that deliver a lot of value. But LWCs are expensive. You've got to pay for a developer. You've got to maintain them. Don't bite my face. That's not cool. But now you don't have to do that. If I put him down, he's just going to try to climb me. So I'll hold him. Because honestly, if your component if you have an LWC today, what is the limit? What can I not do in that reactive flow that I can do in that component? And I think you just eliminated the need for 30 to 40% of the existing LWCs today with that one feature. Like that's powerful. It's very exciting. Like I have an in-flight for a customer that I'm building that's got several hours on it. And it's cheaper for me to rebuild it using that than to finish the LWC development. It's immensely powerful.
Sorry about this, friends. Squire got bumped from the call. He's totally lost internet. So, so he's not going to interrupt anything right now. But he'll be back momentarily.
So his demo worked, and this
Yeah.
is the karma.
Yeah. Well, it was Stuart's demo. So Stuart's demo. Squire
The-
just got and it's
Oh,
actually,
there you go.
it's actually Squire's Zoom, and so he'll be all right.
The black
Well, it's
helicopters.
yours now.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's mine now. So the
So what else is broken? Who else needs help? I want to fix something.
I don't know. Jake's got something broke, but I don't think we can fix it.
Yeah, I found something that's broken, but it's not fixable right now. It's gonna
Maybe
do
Stuart knows.
yeah, so we're gonna do opportunity routing using omnichannel. We have a mass load in using data loader for basically approved lease rates that would come in as opportunities. And there is a help article that says the opportunity object is supported. But then when you go to create the service channel, opportunity is not an option. And when you create a case with Salesforce, they say it's not an option. So that's fun. Basically trying to make it so that it's we're divvying out opportunities in a smooth process without having to put a lot of forethought into it to a team of people that can handle it. So omnichannel
So
would have been the
that-
win.
So
That's
there is a Salesforce article that says that you can use opportunities with omnichannel.
Correct.
Yeah, I just posted it. Yeah, for sure. But there's also an idea out there that says opportunities should be included in omnichannel. So
I mean, this is a candidate for high velocity sales, is it not? Like isn't that why they built high velocity sales, is so that we do this kind of,
You would think.
So it's something of note though that would remove HVS from being the right option with Jake's use case is that most of these won't have any human interaction from anybody at your company.
oh, okay,
They
yeah.
they would all be their transactional records to reflect what the end customer is doing in an Experience Cloud site. But that's interesting because it does very clearly say that
Yeah, I was told that there's an internal team that it's been raised to, but the wording they used is the document you have has a bug. So
the
the document has a bug.
has the
Not
bug.
not working as designed.
Yeah. Apologies for your inconvenience and the document bug. They say it twice. They double down. I'll drop it in the chat.
why is it so?
I really like the idea that there's a bug in the document. I don't know what to do with that.
It
That makes
sounds
two
like,
of us,
you
man.
know,
That makes
it
two of
sounds
us.
like something that was in a file folder for a long time and a bug got smushed on and smeared the ink. Like
It's like I opened a really old book from the library and there's a dead spider in here. I'll just read around it. It's fine.
Book's got a bug,
No.
man. Book's
It's
got a
not gonna
bug.
cause a problem at all.
That's the best excuse I hear almost for 10 years about the
There needs to
Love
be
it.
a channel on Ohana Slack for interesting support responses.
Yeah.
that
No, I
almost
love
sounds
that
Okay,
as a good
so-
answer, though. Anytime something's not working, there's a bug in the documentation.
Yeah,
There's a
Yep.
bug in the document. I like it.
this doesn't
Okay,
match what I was
so-
expecting. There's a document in the bug or a bug
So
in the
Oh.
document.
where in the
Jake put it in
process
the
is it
chat.
breaking?
You can't set it up,
Like,
right, Jay?
Yeah, but it's like where? Like you're trying to add it to a service channel?
I'm trying to create the service channel so that I can do omni-channel routing. Basically, because opportunities don't allow for queues, and apparently it's not supported by omni-channel. There's not a clean way to disperse opportunities evenly using like out of the box functionality. Like I can build a flow that does all the stuff, but
Yeah,
that's
you
just
could-
much
you
more
could build a
tedious than
flow.
omni-channel.
You could also just create cases for all the opportunities and then assign the case that way.
Yeah, that was
That's-
on
That's rough though.
That's heavy. That's
yeah.
a little heavy-handed.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, why don't you just create a reactive flow like Stu showed us and just have a click a button, become a pellet feeder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good one.
But like you don't actually need to assign all of the opportunities to an end user for processing, right?
It's more for their job is not necessarily to process anything. Their job is to, for this month, we have 3,000 opportunities. You're a team of 12 people. I'm going to disperse them amongst these 12 people, and you just need to touch base and follow up and remove any blockers that may exist. They probably don't exist, but they may exist.
You use an approval process for that, then assign out that way. Because you could have the different, you could put them all in a group there, and then you send it's part of the approval process will just be assigning them to that group, and then they could go to that list view or whatever and work them that way.
Like have them all be approvable, and then when they approve
Yeah,
them,
and you
they
could also
sign.
you could do it auto, a flow that launches it automatically. So based on some criteria, it gets submitted for auto approval to be reassigned out, and then you could work it that way.
Wouldn't that require the opportunities going to a queue initially, though?
No, because the approval ticket would be, you can send that to a queue, or you can send that to a group of users, and then they can work that. So the owner doesn't have to be a queue. The owner doesn't have to be owner of the opportunity, doesn't have to be a queue. It can be anybody, and they will be owning the task of the approval process or the approval step.
Yeah, then
Gotcha.
you could selectively choose, put criteria in there to selectively choose who gets the step goes to.
Especially if you want to assign it to like a group of users. Otherwise, if you're using Flow, you're gonna have to designate somebody if you're using just the opportunity, you have to designate somebody to be the owner of that record, and or have some other type of criteria on the opportunity to filter on.
Is this failing because you're trying to use queue-based routing instead of skill-based routing?
I think skill base is also enabled.
But again, it's not failing. You just can't even set it up, right?
Right.
Yeah, failing to be able to configure.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't get started.
It's, I mean, yeah, there's a bug in the document.
It's a bug in the document. It all comes back to, man.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of different ways to go around this problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's just
omni-channels-
unfortunate you have to find a workaround.
Right,
right, yeah.
right.
Well, what's
Right.
unfortunate is that we found the bug in the document, and Salesforce is like, "Oh, you found the bug."
Yeah,
When are they
Didn't
gonna
think
fix
anyone
that
was gonna
bug?
use that. Yeah.
they're you just remove the word opportunity on the page.
Yeah.
Quick at it.
I mean, I feel like everything that you do is going to be some type of debt. So I'm trying to think like, what is the the least
Yeah, what's the cleanest
harmful
way to do this?
debt
The
that you could
path of least
introduce.
resistance.
Yeah. And while like I'm not in love with pushing products, Stu's point about high velocity sales is actually makes sense. Even if, you know, like let's say there's 3,000 opportunities that need to be worked. It is a team of 12 sifting through those that could be identified as in the greatest amount of need. Right. And there's you've got a variety of data points available that could contribute to that calculation. But now we're talking about really using HVS for like 12 people, which is, you know, given the size of your environment with several thousand users, like that seems kind of crazy. But maybe that is an option worth exploring, because it would give you a lot of resources in terms of like how should you go about processing without necessarily creating it as debt. But yeah, to Jake's point, make a new flow.
Yeah.
Like,
And fix the bug.
yeah. Ask for a finder's fee on that. I don't even know who the right product manager would be to go and gripe to, but if that's a literal typo, like it's a real, it does not work even though it is stated there, they should address it fairly quickly. But I feel like it does work. There's just something that needs to happen. Like your user doesn't have the Sales Cloud and the Service Cloud license, which is required to make it happen, right?
Right.
Such a silly thing, but it could easily be the case. So like, there's got to be something.
It's been escalated to do like an investigation, like in as far as like what is required in order for the opportunity to be there. But I think
I mean, that's a long list. I feel like they may have just copied and pasted it and didn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
They missed it.
List of the standard objects. Yeah.
The investigation is actually who was the last person to document this or
Right.
to update this document.
Right.
I mean, contacts and accounts are routable with omnichannel, but can be assigned directly to agents.
Now that I'm looking at this list, some of it looks actually very suspicious, like live chat transcripts and messaging sessions. Why are we why would you put those in a omnichannel queue? I don't really
For QA, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like whoever wrote this didn't actually understand what they were writing.
I'm gonna tell them that the article did not solve my issue.
There you go.
We
all need to vote that way, please.
The document.
That investigation might take a while.
Yep.
That's crazy. Anyway. All right, Jake, are you all situated for at least, now? Go build some flows.
I'm as situated as I can be on a Friday, so.
Anyone else break shit stuff? It's Friday. It's been a day. No one else has broken anything this week?
I didn't
are you
break it
kidding?
this week. EAC's been broken for 60 days as of today now in our org. We're testing another fix. Right now, I'm waiting to hear back from a user. And I was informed today by my salesperson that they're setting up a meeting with me, the product manager, the development team, and about 4 other people up at Salesforce to try to get to the bottom of this and figure out what to do.
60 days?
Yeah, it broke when they upgraded us, or they changed us from enterprise to unlimited. EAC stopped working.
Right.
So right now the fix that we're testing is to rescind the terms of, click into all of your settings, way down into your personal settings and rescind the terms of service, wait 2 minutes and accept the terms of service again.
Is it working?
And then I contact them to recrawl all of the data for that person. We don't know. That's what we're testing. It's
Per
worked
person?
it's worked a couple times and then not worked for some others. So
How
Todd,
many users do you have, Todd?
a little over 200 users on EAC.
Wow.
So
you
they're still trying to figure out in the back end how they can recrawl it most efficiently once we do this. So I essentially have to send out an email to all of my users saying, please do this. Oh, and if you don't have that option, just don't worry about it.
are you trying to connect EAC to any shared mailboxes?
Nope.
Good.
Nope. It's an org level
Good.
connection.
Good.
Sounds like
Sure.
there's a story behind that one. So yeah, let's just say it's been kind of bloody and ugly over here. So
All right. Well, you've got Salesforce working on that one. I don't know if we can do anything with that.
nope, nope. Just an update. If anybody has EAC issues, don't call me.
I feel your pain, Todd. I don't know if anybody else was caught up in the Hyperforce error from like in August that multiple instances were having email issues. We were on the list. The incident went on for like, I want to say 13 weeks or something ridiculous, or 6.5 weeks, something crazy. And the incident is summarized as emails may not have sent, but you're good. That's kind of how it reads. And so we've been trying to get someone to tell us exactly what emails could have been missed, because we're looking at the logs that we don't see any fails in the logs. And our most recent email was that the support guy said, it may have been email triggers too. So just keep that in mind. We're like, it doesn't say that in the incident. And now he's like backing off of it, but we've got the email chain of like, well, did you say it or didn't you say it? Was it really the triggers or was it just the sends? Like, so like, I'm kind of with you. Like, you said one thing and you're telling us the solution is sorry, and then like kind of blowing us off. So we'll compare notes and see who gets there first.
Yeah, you're not making me feel good, Squire.
No, I'm sorry.
Because I got an
normally
email.
am and rah-rahing the support staff quite a bit, but this one I kind of burned us too. So now I'm with you.
Yeah, I got an email last week that we're going to be forced onto that sometime after November 30th.
A lot of
The
people are, and it's
Hyperforce.
not a big deal. But there was just this issue for this set of instances, so it's a good thing in the long run. Which is a little painful
I was
until
going to say, how painful is it to get there, though?
not bad. I mean, the documentation in the Hyperforce Assistant covers it all pretty well. There's some standard tech debt, be no worse than the domain change or the other ones, in my opinion. So
Okay, and I'm partially through that assistant, so
yeah, I mean, the big ones have to do with hard-coded hyperlink, like all those normal best practice things that should have been resolved already. That's where we saw most of our gaps, and so we fixed them. So
yeah, we don't have a lot of code out there, and I've already passed that test, so I need to move on to the next step. Nothing's hard-coded. That's all
Nothing
I
else
have.
is broken. Nothing else is broken.
I
Y'all-
actually
y'all
have
are
a,
here.
I have
you
a
do?
question.
Oh,
Okay. I'll even come on video for this. Hi. All right. So I am trying to do one of those things where get people the ability to remove an attached document to a record. And I've got this through ScreenFlow, but I can only make them delete the record and not just be able to delete the link. There's a step. It's a step I'm missing. I just don't know what that step is. And I can show you what I have and see if you guys have a way for me to get the link back from my selected lines from my ScreenFlow.
These are content documents?
Yes. Yeah. So I got,
And-
so here we go.
And you mean the specific content document link?
Yes. So I go from, and this should be, I need to change this to my order submission summary, but so we get the opportunity, you get the links that are connected or to my order submission summary. I go through and then add those to my collection of IDs. So then I get the titles of those links, and I got this from Jen Lee. I show those in a data table, allow them to select which ones they're wanting to remove. But then I can't figure out how to go back to those links from the titles they've selected from the lines. So all I could do is just delete them all and say, hey, if you deleted the wrong one, go to the recycle bin. But I'm trying to not need them to do that if they're just releasing it from the record.
I mean, don't you just have to, I shouldn't say just, but you have to add the selected items to a new collection or filter the collection so it knows which ones you're acting on. And you should be able to do that from the doc list selector. My oversimplifying this, anybody wants to jump in?
Yeah,
I don't think you
I'm wondering what that, before you get to the get content titles, what is all the information that that last step gives you? I know it's not giving you the name of the document, but
Okay, let me go to
but
mine.
what is everything else that it gives you?
So right now it just gives me
The IDs.
Well, I'm hoping it doesn't just give you the content document link ID.
No, so that's where I got the titles, but I don't have the link ID once I've gone this way, because you can have a content that has multiple links, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Multiple versions.
well, but it also, you could have a document that has a link to an account and a contact and an opportunity and a case. Like, I can link my document to multiple objects.
and that's where I'm just looking to remove it from our document, where we have a button that says, hey, pull this in from the opportunity so that it's on our order submission. And that way they can then download those into a zip file to send off to our order submission people.
So you're
Because we're
really just
not in the same
disconnecting them
system.
from the opportunity you're looking at, not deleting the file as a whole.
Exactly. And
right.
that's where I was just kind of saying, hey, if I select these three, I don't want these connected. Then I get the, the selected rows on the flow. But okay, so then I get my selected rows, and so then I've kind of gone with the I was trying to find the links, and I couldn't figure out a way to find the links with the options. So if you were like to do a get or a filter, like a filter of the original.
Or once you go get the content titles, if you stored the content document links with their associated titles into a variable or a list, then you display that, and then from that result, you should be able to pull the link and do your removal of the link only. Does that make sense? I think that would probably
I get the
help you
idea.
out.
I'm having a hard time with the how to do the collection.
Yeah. Because you're actually selecting the documents in that interface, not the links.
Right.
So then
Yeah.
you need to go back through and say,
Yeah.
for this list of documents I picked, go get the links that are this opportunity and this document link,
Which
and
you haven't-
delete those, right?
When you get the content titles,
Yeah.
I would
so
even
when
do
you
it.
go get those.
I would do it
Yeah.
before that. I would actually do it before that. Because at the step before you get content titles, you've already got all your document links.
Yes.
And you,
But I don't necessarily want to grab all these. I mean, if I want to
Right.
grab 2 of
But-
the 10, that's where I'm like, how
Yep.
do I filter out?
but you've looped through them to find the assignment. And at that point in time, now you've got your 2
Yeah.
that you're worried about. Can, at that moment, you create.
Well,
I'm gonna
here
say
I've got,
I'm gonna
I've
say
got
the wrong
all
words.
of them, and that's how I could get.
Right, but before you get again, I want to
Okay.
create a list. I want to create a list of these are the IDs and all the other information that I can show you.
Yep.
About that document link.
But the problem, I think, Stu, where you're headed, but the link doesn't tell you the name of the document.
Right.
It's just an ID that
Yep.
takes you to the document.
Yep.
Right
Yep. But what else does it show me?
Nothing. There's literally like 3 columns. It's like the parent, the relationship, the document link. There's almost nothing on it. It's really a joiner object.
So
Yeah,
when
so
you
all I
go
could
get,
get is
when
this
you go get
ID.
when you go get the ID, after you've retrieved the ID, can you subsequently go get the title at the same time and put those two together in an
Yeah.
assignment? And then, so you loop through, you're getting the content document ID. And then
Yep.
once you get that, you have a next step to go get your title for that content document ID. And then
Okay.
you go into the second one to get another loop. It's
But where are you gonna
Trace.
store that new map as an object? You can't create a freestanding object with the flow, right?
But you can save those. Okay. But I wish you could. So let's
In a
wish that we
resource.
could. And like,
See,
So
in
can we
Jen's
set?
article, she actually had to get content titles in the loop. But I was able to say, I was able to get the content document ID right here when she at that time had to, like, it didn't have as the related. So collection. So in here, it has a related. So I was able to get the title right here versus having the content title as a pink inside my loop.
yeah, honestly, I think after your screen flow where they select in the table there, well, after they select the documents that they want to get to remove the associations with, you're gonna have to do another get at that point for the content document links for each one of those that they've selected.
Right. You have to
How
like
do we
reselect
know
the
that it was the
opportunity
link?
and link or opportunity and document combo
Yeah,
link to get a shortened list, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to build another collection of all your content document links that you want to delete.
Yeah.
So after that screen, you've identified all your documents. Now you have to go
Mhm.
do a get for every document you've identified, which I hate to say, the only thing I can think about doing right now is within a loop of looping through your options there. And then
Okay.
getting the content document links for each of them, add them into a collection, and then doing a final deletion of your content document link collection.
So I do a loop here. I'm gonna fix my
Yeah,
name.
because you only have half the equation that you need for your deletion. That's the issue you're running into.
So if we take the selected records,
Yep.
Because that's a list of documents, right?
If that's a
yes,
list of
that's the
documents.
titles.
And this
And
is where
then-
you kind of start breaking some flow of logic potentially by doing potentially you could break limits within here by doing gets in here.
I mean, we're
Oh, I
never
hope not, right?
we're never gonna
I hope
have
not. I hope
that
you're not deleting
many.
tons of document links, but
Yeah, I mean,
you
we
could.
would never be. I think, you know, when you have the pinks within here, we're not going to be deleting or getting that many that I would see it be an issue. But I just,
I mean, if all is filled, you can just put a screen element in there and that will reset your limits for each run. But you could at this point you'd be doing a get for the content document link where that ID of whatever
okay.
variable you're looking at, the current variable, the ID of that, you're gonna go find all the content document links assigned to it, and then you have to take those
And I-
values you find. It's like Inception almost.
Can I do an in? So like saying it's in the other ID list? No.
No, you're gonna have to go get, because there's potentially more than one link you have to go get. So you want to get the. You're not gonna do assignment first. You're gonna have to do a get first. So
So
like
again,
each
before my loop?
of your variables in your collection, you have to do a get to go find all the content document links. Then
Inside,
Oh.
inside the loop.
yeah, inside the
Yeah.
loop. Which is why I
Oh.
was like, you could be breaking, you could be hitting
That's-
some
Get the
limits.
title, once you get the
down
content
below.
document links, get the title at that time. And store the link in the title in your in a collection that you have. And
And
then
you're-
display your titles and you've got the link that goes with it.
Okay, so can I put, if this is doing an assignment, adding it to the IDs, can I cut this and put this at this node? And do it that way? Because it's already creating the variable for the ID, or does that not work? Is that making sense?
Well, I don't think you can do it in that first node because you're actually shortening your list. Like you have to work on, like, I see what you're saying there, but you don't have the full list to select from at that point.
Yeah, I almost think it may be better if you limit it instead of them allowing to select more than one. If you just presented the list of which ones they wanted to remove, like, so you present a list and only allow them to select one option, then you can go find the content document links for that one option, go remove them, then take you back to your selection
And
process.
do it
with
single at
selecting
a
the
time?
next one.
I was pondering that way. I'm just like, but if they're deleting 10, it might be a lot of singles, but it's still something.
I mean, I think
My
Yeah,
whole
that's
issue
gonna
was
be
doing the
easier to-
multiple. That's where I was like,
that process, like the multiples is the issue because you still have to go find all the content document links for every single content that they select. You have to go find all the associated links for them that you need to delete. And it could be 1, it could be 3, it could be 10, depends how often and where often they link those
Yeah.
documents to.
okay, okay.
Would it be fair, Jake, to your earlier comment? And I was thinking the same thing of like, Heather, even though you're saying will never, you have to build like they might. Would it
Yeah.
make sense to limit the query to always be like no more than 20? With an understanding that you might have to do this multiple times, or if you got more than 20 documents, you can't use this process, and that way you're ensuring scalability for these multiple loops.
Okay.
I don't know if it might be overkill, but there is something to be said about ensuring
There's
that it never
always
works.
somebody.
Yeah.
There's always somebody.
And you can even have the ScreenFlow, throw an alert like a alternate path, be like, there's more than 20 documents, you can't use this process to do this work or something, if you're starting to see that.
Okay.
We've
All right, cool.
asked Salesforce to help us with this problem because we have a legal requirement that we must delete documents after no more object is using that document, which means there are no more content document links to a piece of content. We must delete it. That's for ILM reasons. But how do you know? How do you check? I'm seeing the problem that we have on the screen. How do you check that all the content document links for any piece of content have been removed? It's utterly impossible. That
There
there's
should always
no-
be one, and that would be what is there one for like the whole platform, or is it just held in storage someplace?
Well, I mean, I think it's going back to there's one for every relationship of a document to an object. So in your case, there might only be one, but in Stu's case, he might have to query dozens, hundreds.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, once our client has been removed, if Squire has been deleted as a client, and all of his his contact opportunities, all that has been deleted, then that piece of content should no longer be connected to anything and can be deleted. But if there's anything else that's attached to that piece of content, we cannot delete it legally. So how do we
So when
know?
you have the content document link, it points to the actual content file, right? that.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a master,
And-
it's a
So if
master
you have-
detail,
if
or
you
it's a,
have
it's a
two-
joiner object.
and some
If
other
you have-
record.
Okay. So you have a content document link that has a content associated to it and the actual object it's linked to.
Yep.
So if you find the content document link for the object and you've got two, you know which the document ID is as well. So you have the content document link and the document ID. If you're going to delete it from the object, at that time, you know what that document ID is. Can you now go out and query and say, are there any other content document links that have that document ID? And
I
if
see
there
what
are
you're saying.
none, then you can remove that document ID.
Oh, for, yeah.
Yeah,
to
I
know
think,
whether or
I think
not-
it goes back to Heather, what is the true requirement here that you need this flow to do?
I was just trying to, if on the child object, they brought over too many documents, to be able to remove one of those documents. Meanwhile, they don't want the sharing on the documents to being to the record, because we don't want some people. So this would be a screen flow. So that's why I'm doing it as system.
Yeah.
That certain individuals with the permission to do this can do it, but other people cannot go through willy-nilly going, well, I don't need that one, I don't need that one,
Yeah.
when you don't know crap.
Yeah, I think to Barb's point, I think if you're only removing that association from that document for that object, go query the content document links, pull back the links for that particular object, have them select the links that you want to terminate, and then do it that way. I think that's gonna be a cleaner solution for you, since you already have all those points, data points in place.
But can you display the names even though you can get the links in that table? I don't think you can.
No, it's just gonna be the name of.
It's just gonna be the
the
two link
ID of the
values, right?
document.
There's also the other
rub of it, 'cause
option.
we do the reverse of this, and this
Yeah.
has always been the challenge is we do a thing where it's like, go find all the files that look like this and attach them to this object. So we have to reverse engineer those two things and fill in the doc link, but we have to do the same exercise.
But your query is gonna be, doing the opposite, it's gonna be more, it's restricted, so you can only pull back one result. If you go, if you want to, you already identified your links, you can say, now go build my table of all the names off of that, so the queries, it's only gonna be a one-for-one query. Because it's gonna only return back one result for that content that's
Right.
tied to that one link, so it's gonna be a little bit more controlled.
I guess another option could be just to have them remove all of the links. So if you're not happy with the ones you brought over, remove all the links and try again to bring the proper items over, but and
Yeah,
that
that's
way,
terrible. I don't think it's a very good user experience. You'd probably get
Yeah.
both problems that way.
I've only ever used a Flow and Apex to do this, because it's easier to do all that stuff in code, the deletion process. Let them select which records they want, and then you would have code go do the deletion of the rest of the stuff. It's cleaner. And
the visual though of this is prettier
Yeah.
than the visual I've seen with Apex. And that's kind of
I'm
where
not saying that's not the.
Yep.
I'm not saying that's not the case. I mean, you can still use this flow to build your list and then pass that list to Apex within your flow.
Oh,
So you can
okay.
still build your table, you select all the values, put that in a collection and send that over to your Apex code through a variable there.
Okay.
I've got to run to another meeting, but I
Yeah.
think you can do this in this flow. I
Yeah,
think you
I
can get
agree.
I think you can get the titles to go with the links and store that in a resource. And then display the titles and have the link available. And then from there, you'd remove only the links you need to. But you do have the issue that Stuart was mentioning where if you're removing the last link, do you also need then to go back out and remove the document? Because it's no other object that's linked to. Do you want to remove the document completely?
Not on this object. If it was on the opportunity itself, and that's where this is wrong because I was trying to fix it, so I switched
Oh,
it.
okay.
So if this was the child object, then there would always be this document also on the opportunity.
Okay. Okay. Well, then you don't have to worry about that as much.
So, okay, so if I bring this above and grab both, then I'd have
I think
Oh,
you can make that work
yeah.
into a resource where you've got the content document link and the title, and then you display on your screen the title. You can put the link ID out there too, if it's
Mhm.
easier, and let them select which ones they want to go, and then from there you know which particular links to remove. But I'm sorry, I do have to run.
Yeah.
I
Hi,
have 2
Barb.
o'clock to go to.
Thank
But good
you.
luck with it.
Thank you.
I'd come back
Yeah.
next time and let us know how
Yes,
well it
yeah,
worked.
Heather-
Okay.
Heather-
It
Heather-
is 2:05, friends.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
so,
who cares? Time is
we're-
irrelevant. Heather, when you
we-
when you get this updated, please show this. Please show this at the next office hours because I would
Yes.
love to see its updated version.
Yes.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right, Heather, you have an appointment with us in 2 weeks. What's the next date?
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye all.
Yeah, next time, Heather, you're up first. Got it?
No pressure.
You're up first next time you show up to the call.
Got it.
Yeah.
And but if you're still struggling though, like let us help you. Like
Yep.
Okay.
we're happy to do that. So thanks everybody. It's been great. The recording will be on YouTube in a couple days. Jake, thanks. Stuart, thanks. Jane, Paula, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody have a great weekend.
Bye all.
Bye. Oh,